Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia, and producer Zach Bloomquist. Oh, yep, there you go.
No. There it is.
No camera on Zach. See, I ordered more equipment to get producer Zach back on camera, and just now realized I ordered the wrong equipment.
Oh, that's not Zach's fault.
It's not Zach's fault.
Okay,
no, this is not on Zach. This is a continuous problem that I'm having.
Oh, I thought you.
It almost feels personal at this point.
I thought you were about to go at Zach.
Yeah, no, it almost feels personal at this point again. No, I don't go at Zach unless he. You know, Zach doesn't really catch too much flack unless he deserves that. I feel like.
Look at Zach with Look at Zach with this neon green shirt and the bright pink socks.
Oh, they can't. No one can.
That's like my 7th grade rec outfit.
The Dallas Mavericks just got the first overall pick in the NBA draft. We're not an NBA show, but Cooper Flagg's going to be amazing with Luka Doncic next season. That'll be fun to watch.
That's going to be so good
in Dallas. It'll be a good time. For the NBA.
They'll be going nuts
just kidding.
At the nines.
There might be some more reactions because the Knicks-Celtics game is going to start probably in like 30 minutes or so here. So if you're seeing some reaction during that, just know that Zach and I will either be very disappointed or very happy by the end of this episode here. Today,
we're professionals here, so we'll only have one game on in the background while we're working.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like a lot of shows in today's world do that.
That game is Pirates-Mets. Skeens is pitching in Citi Field.
Is that? Do we have a score? Do we have a live score on that, or? No.
Let me see.
Not good. Then
let me see.
So today's episode, we're going to be doing the joint power rankings for the NFL, our first one of the new season. The schedule release comes out on Wednesday, tomorrow, and we're going to actually go live at probably around 8:45. We're going to put out a community post later. We're going to go live doing the schedule release. And have some instant reactions to some of the biggest games. Ziggy was just making me laugh before saying, I don't know how the NFL can possibly garner this much attention and this much excitement around schedule release, but somehow they do it, and we will be going live for it. So that'll be enjoyable. At the end, potentially a quick game that I thought could be fun, talking about the best stadiums. That could be a brief game at the end of today's show, but I did want to open up here.
Alonzo double play.
Yep.
Skeens got him.
I did want to open up here. First off, if you're enjoying the content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you're not, loving this right now, you could get a lot more of it coming up in the future because we're going to be putting out a lot more shows. But I want to get to the first thing. The Met Gala was last Monday. Now, I know that our female viewership is not always the most high in the world here, so this is really where we kind of dive into the female
Actually,
viewers.
It doesn't just have to be a female thing,
well,
especially with a
we got my
like
lovely
this.
girlfriend, Jaden.
Yeah, Jaden's here. I mean,
she's a viewer.
And she's locked in right now. I see Jaden's looking at her phone. As soon as I say Met Gala, eyes pop up and there's interest.
She's probably the lone female viewer.
Yeah, well, maybe like our moms and girlfriends. So anyway, we're just going to take a quick look at some of the outfits. Apparently Ziggy... Actually, this shouldn't surprise anyone. Ziggy's really into fashion, I guess. Is what you're
I'm not really into fashion, but I know things about it.
You said you had opinions, but we have Jalen Hurts and his wife in a dapper outfit. I don't have many opinions on this. I just wanted to roll through a few of the outfits. Zach, who do we have next up here? Oh, he has Stephon Diggs in a complete what is that? A dragon coat or something?
He looks like
humongous. A bear? Is he wearing a bear?
He looks like the witch from Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, but Stephon Diggs, I heard people really liked his outfit with the red shoes. I always liked a nice touch of red in the shoes. Who else do we have, Zach? All right, Russell Wilson, Ciara. I think that's, a very classy look from Russell.
Yeah,
Paul, do you know what the theme is?
No, I didn't even know the Met Gala had a theme.
If you don't know what the theme is, how are you judging the outfits?
Well, I'm not judging the outfits. I'm just saying people looked good. Are there judges in the Met Gala?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
But let me guess, you're going to put up Joe Burrows and say that looks good.
Well, we're going to continue on here.
That's how you expect Russ to look.
Yeah, that's how you expect Russ to look. Who else was at the Met Gala? Oh, look at this one here. We have Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley. And is that Ziggy? Was Ziggy at the Met Gala?
On Joe Burrow, because that Joe Burrow outfit.
Whoa, totally Ziggy! We didn't know you made an appearance at the Met Gala.
Wait, Ziggy, were you there?
I was there. I was Justin Jefferson's guest.
I love the pink too.
You look great. I actually have to say, you stand out the most by far in that photograph right there. And those are the three arguably best players in their position in the league.
Well, was it always? I actually knew what the theme was, so I knew how to prepare for this. It's Justin Jefferson's was clearly the best, but I'm number 2.
Was it always pink? That's what you were rocking with the whole way?
So the theme was super fine, tailoring black style, right? So really the theme was about sort of an ironic exposure to 20th century dandyism. Like, I know some things about W.E.B. Du Bois, who did a lot with that. So I really like Justin Jefferson's outfit.
Dandyism?
He's sort of capturing the dandiest style, but he's showing how it doesn't quite fit. Like Jefferson sort of showing that this appropriation of white culture by the black dandy community in the early 20th century didn't fit with sort of their own community's identity. So Justin Jefferson's doing well there. But see, I wouldn't have fit in very well in 20th century dandy culture for a lot of reasons. So I brought out the pink. I stood out.
Are you sure it's not W.B. Du Bois? It's Du Bois.
Are you being serious?
I thought it was Du Bois. Yeah, the OIS is like wa.
That's if you're French. You think W.B. Du Bois is French?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm getting dandyism. It refers to a style or way of acting characterized by excessive concern for personal appearance and elegance, especially in the 18th and 19th century.
Yeah, so that's true. There's like 18th, 19th century Britain, but in late 19th, early 20th century, among certain kinds of highly educated African Americans, there was a revival of dandyism. W.B. Du Bois led this. Well, he didn't lead it, but he was a major player.
And this was your take on a excessive concern for personal appearance and elegance. The pink.
Well, no, but it's not about that. It's about the black community's approach to dandyism. That's what the Met Gala really was, right? That's why it was tailoring black style.
We just probably
you went with a bright pink suit.
Better than Joe Burrow.
We just probably lost 45 viewers in the last 30 seconds.
I think we gained a lot. I mean, Ziggy at the Met Gala is pretty big news.
Saquon played it safe. I didn't have it in me to play it safe like Saquon.
What was that conversation?
Justin Jefferson, I couldn't do what Justin Jefferson did.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
Can I take a quick bathroom break?
Yeah.
Ziggy in that pink tux has got me going a little bit.
All right. So, Ziggy, glad you enjoyed the Met Gala. Got to hang out with a couple of your buddies in the NFL. That's really cool. There are probably going to be some people who are watching this who are actually going to think that Ziggy.
I meant to record behind the scenes content, but I didn't have Paula producer Zach with me.
So you needed a vlog.
Camera.
Yeah. And then I didn't get you the microphones in time.
Content.
So today, all right, let's get into some of the actual football that we're going to be talking about.
So off season.
Yes, this is as off season as it gets. Before we get to the power rankings, we just wanted to take a look here. The first and second round of the NFL draft, there were 8 different receivers taken. Okay, you had Travis Hunter to the Jags, Tet McMillan to the Panthers, Emeka Egbuka to the Bucks, Matthew Golden to the Packers. That was all in the first round. In the second, we saw Jaden Higgins go to the Texans, Luther Burden to the Bears. Trey Harris, you like Trey Harris, right? Or you just like all Ole Miss people? Is that kind of
they're all amazing?
Yeah. Trey Harris to the Chargers and Jack Beck to the Las Vegas Raiders. So before we head into the power rankings, a brief discussion here. I just want to ask you, Ziggy, of all those guys, those 8 dudes I just mentioned, which first or second round receiver do you think is going to find themselves in the best situation come the 2025 season?
So best situation can mean a couple different things. One might just mean who's going to put up the biggest stats. Mm-hmm. In that case, there's only a couple competitors, but I'm going to interpret that as who has a chance to really like play their best football, which may or may not involve having the best stats. Like Tet McMillan, I think, has the best chance of having the most stats just because there's no one else on that Panthers offense. But he also has probably the worst quarterback of that entire group. So I actually think the rookie receiver in the best situation, assuming he's used right, is Travis Hunter. I know Packers fans want me to come in and talk about Matthew Golden, but actually I just found out today, Brian Gutekunst, GM of the Packers, had a little powwow with Drew Rosenhaus, who notably is an agent for a certain wide receiver for the Packers, Jaden Reed, and told him, don't worry, man, you're going to be wide receiver 1 all season. Job's not for sale, nothing to worry about with us drafting receivers. The Panthers suck. And then Egbuka, Luther Burden, Jaden Higgins are all sort of buried. So I think really the choices are between Trey Harris and Travis Hunter. And I feel better about Travis Hunter slotting into an offense with someone next to him, with a younger quarterback, with a head coach who I think is prepared for the 21st century in Liam Cohn. Nothing against Pete Carroll. He might even be a good coach, but I don't think that's going to be like a high-flying offense. I don't think you're going to see Geno throw for 5,000 yards next year. I love Travis Hunter's situation of the Jaguars, and clearly they like him too, given what they paid to get for him.
I'm such a sucker because I'm kind of excited for the Jaguars a little bit.
I mean, Hunter. Oh, me too.
But that's such a sucker thing.
No, I know, because I am too. And Hunter, it seems like the perfect spot for him to excel. Like Trevor Lawrence is good enough, he's solid enough, and Hunter's not really even the main point of focus because there's another young superstar across the field. Mm-hmm. It does set up this young core of receivers, plus Trevor Lawrence, who's still 25 years old, 26 years old. Travis Hunter is set up, honestly, I agree, Ziggy, for an awesome rookie season.
I'm also pretty excited for Emeka Egbuka. You mentioned him briefly.
That's what I was gonna
I think
say, too.
I think Egbuka is in a situation where Mike Evans is getting older. Chris Godwin's coming off injury. He may wind up being relied on more heavily than anticipated by middle of the season, and hopefully no one gets hurt again. But these are guys who are getting older, and again coming off a really serious injury for Chris Godwin in a Bucs offense that, like, this Buccaneers team, they're ready to compete in the playoffs right now. The expectations aren't a Super Bowl or bust like some of these other NFC teams, but they have a real shot at winning this NFC South again. Baker's been really good for a couple of years now. And what did we see when the receivers got hurt was that offense take a huge step back naturally without your two best receivers at times. So I think Emeka Egbuka, ideally, he's that number 3 guy and can perhaps find his way into number 2 if he plays well enough. But I also think he has the opportunity where if he does get unfortunately lifted into one of those roles due to injury, he can take on a really important situation for this Bucs team.
I was going to say him too. That was my option as well. I just love his situation because right off the bat, first of all, he's a great receiver, and right off the bat, he's not being brought in to be their number 1. Like, I feel like a lot of weight is on Ted McMillan's shoulders, and Matthew Golden's shoulders, but Emeka Egbuka, 2 good veteran receivers he's with in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but not too long down the road, and those guys will help to bring him up a little bit, and then not too long down the road, it's his time. So I think it's perfect because he's coming in not with massive expectations right off the bat, be a wide receiver 2 or 3.
And he's perfect for that 3 role. High floor player, big locker room guy, like everything that screams out an ideal wide receiver 3, Emeka Egbuka can accomplish as a rookie.
Learn from
I just
2
think
veterans.
if he's the guy you're picking, you should be picking Jaden Higgins over on the Texans.
Really?
I mean, people think, you think of the Texans, you think that's a room with a lot of competition. So obviously Nico Collins is number 1. But Tank Dell, he may not play a single game next year. Christian Kirk, he's not a superstar. You can beat Christian Kirk. Stephon Diggs is gone. Jaden Higgins and Nico Collins, you have to remember, missed a few games of injury last year. He's got a history. And honestly, I think I like CJ Stroud in this offense a little bit more than I like the Buccaneers offense. Not by a lot. I think they're both pretty good offenses, but I'm taking CJ Stroud over Baker Mayfield if you give me a choice. I think Jaden Higgins is in a better situation than Egbuka. In terms of having to beat some guys out, I'd rather have to beat out Christian Kirk and Tank Dell, who might not play a single game, than Mike Evans or Chris Godwin.
Well, Egbuka's not going to beat out those 2, but not too long down the road. This is his team.
Egbuka is the best situation for 26 and 27, probably.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. The more I go up and down this list of dudes here, Jack Beck doesn't have there's not a lot of competition in Vegas. Like he can take that role quickly. Trey Harris.
Yeah, but I think the Vegas offense is going to be a fiesta.
Yeah, Trey Harris is a fun one because Ladd McConkey's there, and then after that, that's a big opening for the number 2 receiver in Los Angeles, and you have Justin Herbert. And it sounded like, based on what we were talking about a couple of days ago, that Jim Harbaugh maybe will open up the playbook to Herbert a bit more than he did last season.
Well, Ladd McConkey is good, but I don't think he's shown he's so good that you can't possibly get more targets than him. He had an incredible year last year. There's no doubt about it, but he doesn't have the same track record as some of these other guys we're talking about. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Nico Collins. I could definitely see Ladd McConkey becoming the best wide receiver 2 in the league if Trey Harris is good enough.
I could see Trey Harris working so well with Justin Herbert also.
Oh, yeah.
You could just see it, right? Ladd McConkey is running those routes from the slot. You've got Trey Harris just big bodying people down the field.
Yes, and Herbert throwing it up to him. I could see that exactly. Herbert's like a slightly worse Jackson Dart. Harris was so good with Jackson Dart.
Oh, Justin Herbert and Trey Harris. If you haven't seen this, you should go and look at some of the Chargers' social media. They had such a great rookie.
This is where the NFL offseason gets you.
Justin Herbert was just launching 40, 50-yard bombs, and Trey Harris was mossing people.
I think they're all good. And the 2 NFC North teams, Luther Burden in Chicago, kind of like Egbuka, gets to step in behind Rome Odunze, who he could potentially leap over him, but probably not, but he could.
It was
and
Burden,
DJ Moore.
Right? Burden,
yeah. And I think Burden's in a nice situation there. And then Matthew Golden, despite what Ziggy says, has an opportunity to become the Packers' number 1 wide receiver at some point this season. I think it will be Jaden Reed. But Matthew Golden does need to... What he has the opportunity to do with Wicks, Reed, Romeo Dobbs, and perhaps Watson coming back is if he from the beginning of the season can establish himself as the number one guy, like that's open for the taking because none of them did it last year. So I know that you might have people promising in Green Bay that's Jayden Reed's job to lose, but it's probably his job to lose. And Matthew Golden can take
question,
it.
Like, what has Jayden Reed done to have Brian Gutekunst meeting with his agent saying your status as wide receiver 1 will be unaffected?
I think he's
they
been the
wouldn't
best
promise
of the group.
Aaron Rodgers the starting job after they drafted Jordan Love.
He racked up fantasy numbers for me last year. Jayden Reed.
Yeah, if you had Jayden Reed in fantasy, you also remember he disappeared during the important stretch of the season. He was nowhere.
Jack's like, he racked up fantasy. What's your record, Jack? 4-9.
Reed kept me out of last place. Like,
he saved you.
He was my best player.
He did save you with that.
Who won last year?
Who won was it you? Did you win?
No, you didn't.
I try and block that on
You won?
Yeah.
Who'd you beat in the final?
Gosh.
After week 9, he had one game over 50 yards.
I don't know.
But look, that's what I'm saying. Matthew Golden has a chance to go in there. If he's consistent and if he can become the number one, he might be in the best situation of all of them.
If you want to talk stats, numbers, fantasy, though, it's Ted McMillan.
Is it?
Yes. The Panthers will lose games like 34.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Stop. Did you just pick a Bryce Young wide receiver?
But do you know how
to
many
have a
times?
good year?
Like, do you know how many times like he'll get thrown the ball?
No, he's not wrong. Adam Thielen. When
That's
Thielen
what I'm
was
saying.
there
Yeah, like
before he got hurt.
the Panthers will lose like 34-17. He'll have like 10 catches, 150 yards.
I mean,
and a
the
touchdown.
Panthers don't.
What happened to Xavier Leggett? Did he just disappear? He kind of disappeared. What about
he
the
disappeared.
Hunter Renfrow recovery? How about that?
Hunter Renfrow is back after you, Zach. That's your guy with the ulcerative
Notre
colitis.
Dame,
don't come
Tommy
at him.
Tremble.
I'm just saying, if you don't believe in the Panthers, Ted McMillan
you're proving my
might not be
point.
the fantasy guy. I think the fantasy guy. Well, assuming Travis Hunter plays a lot of receiver,
McMillan will get 12 targets a game. He'll be playing every snap. He was the 8th overall pick.
Did the Panthers pick anybody big?
Yeah, you're probably right.
He was
It'd probably
number
be
8
McMillan.
overall.
I mean, I would rather. Would you if Hunter plays full time at receiver? I'd go Hunter over him.
Fantasy, I don't know.
Really? Zach, what do you think is the defending champion?
Hunter over
Or Ted McMillan?
Tet McMillan. I'm going to take Tet.
All right, well, I stand corrected, Jack. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I think it's.
I'm always right.
Okay, yeah. No one asked me.
Oh, well, go ahead, Ziggy.
I think he knows.
I think it's close, but I'm taking talent over opportunity.
Okay, so it's 2-2 here.
So it's Ted McMillan.
Assuming, it's just Ted McMillan. Okay, so yeah, we're basically what we wound up saying this segment was every single rookie receiver
Is in a great spot.
great situation.
I mean, if you're going in the first, no, you don't use a pick in the first 2 rounds if you don't want the player to play for you, sir.
Yeah, although I do think that the first round receivers there are in better situations than the second round receivers in this situation.
I mean, Tet could be the next Justin Jefferson, where they just
All right. Let's get over here.
Just like
no.
forced
Whoa. What's that supposed to mean?
Just like like fantasy wise. Just like
I mean, Justin Jefferson is not.
But you never know, right? Like I would have picked last year if we ran this segment. I would have said Keon Coleman probably is the best opportunity of any of them, right?
Coleman.
Well, yeah. I mean, but Ziggy, that's because you're
I mean,
your take.
I think I actually might have said that. We can probably go back.
I'm pretty sure. I bet there's a segment where someone other than me said Keon Coleman, wide receiver 1 on the Bills. Are you kidding me?
I think I did. I think you can go back and you can find me saying that.
Brian Thomas Jr. on the Jaguars, really?
Oh, I was a big Brian Thomas Jr. guy.
Zach was a big Brian Thomas. You would have seen me saying Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors. That's what I would have been saying because that's just what I do. All right, let's hop into the NFL joint power rankings now. We actually do have a graphic for this.
Who's Timothy Chalamet?
Oh, Chalamet?
Yeah.
Chalamet? Not Chalamet. He's I know.
It's at the Knicks game right now.
So the joint power rankings here. Go ahead, Zach. You could show. Oh, there's Ziggy at the Met Gala one more
I just
time.
wanted to show Ziggy one more time.
He looks great. He looks great in that. So here's how it works for anyone who forgets. As opposed to just listing our top 10 teams, as everyone does on every show that exists talking about football, what we do is a little bit different here. We go 10-1, one team at a time, one team per person, from 10-1 to get our top 10 teams here. So
that was a lot of words, man.
I heard I was saying 10 and 1 and
I heard
team
a lot of top 10, top.
Yeah.
We just go around and
just
pick
go
a team.
backwards.
All right, we go around and pick a team from 10-1. Essentially is
you
what
go.
happens here. Sorry, I was half
Then we'll
looking at the Knicks
revisit
screen.
these next year and see that I was right.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we'll start with me at 10. I'm going to put the Minnesota Vikings at number 10 on the power rankings here.
I'm going to talk
A shout out to the rookie Donovan Jackson. We're going to highlight briefly a rookie that we're excited about, but he has to be the pick here. The Vikings, obviously, the big question for us is JJ McCarthy. Now, here's the thing, though, why I like the Vikings at 10. And people might get upset, but we all got mad last year when people were excited about the Vikings saying, can't be Sam Darnold. You can't put faith in him. I think time and time again now, Kevin O'Connell's shown that he can make the most out of quarterbacks. And this Vikings team, top to bottom, I've said it so many times, I think is one of the best rosters in the National Football League, that if you're asking me, am I more willing to take a bet on the Vikings or on a team perhaps like the Chargers or the Texans here, I might roll the dice on the Vikings having a higher ceiling this season than those teams, actually. The floor's lower, but I think the ceiling is higher in Minnesota, and I'm willing to put the bet on them at 10.
Over Pittsburgh?
Barely.
We're not getting in at 10?
Barely.
With Aaron Rodgers soon to be the quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson can single-handedly put him into the top 10, yes.
Yeah, but towards the bottom. I don't
The
see...
defense is good, too. You can't
Oh,
forget
I think the
about
defense is awesome. I would be pretty surprised if I saw us approaching... we made it to 1 last year on our power rankings at one point.
Well, I mean, and that was justified, too.
Yeah. No, but I would be surprised if that happened at any point this season. I can see us flirting with that 8 to 14 spot throughout much of the year.
They're a fine selection to throw in that bottom, the bottom of the top 10.
Yeah, at the top, at like number 10, and this is true of a few of these teams, like there's a lot of teams you could go for, right? You could go for the Cowboys, you could go for the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Seahawks.
No, I don't think
bunch of teams there with a floor and ceiling, the Cardinals.
You can't.
I
don't think you could put the Steelers, unfortunately. I'm Jack.
We're not much worse.
I don't think you put them. I don't think you put the Seahawks. It's harder for me.
There's a good chance the Seahawks win more games than the Vikings next.
The ceiling is not higher though for Seattle or Pittsburgh.
We could win more games than the Vikings too.
You could. I just don't think your ceiling is higher than ours. If the Vikings are really good, I could see them being one of the best teams in the NFC. The Steelers, I just
Jack. You have to. Paul's thing is, I want the Vikings in the top 10, so I'm going to come up with a reason.
All right. Jack, who do you have at 9?
Now I got the. This will come as a shock to many, but we'll see that I was correct. The New York Football Giants at number 9. And listen to me, people think that I'm crazy for.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
And my girlfriend's here with this look of disgust on her face over here. But
she might break up with you right now. I wouldn't blame her.
This Giants team is good, dude. I'm assuming Jackson Dart will be their starting quarterback shortly into the NFL season. You know I love this guy.
Jackson Dart is a top 5 QB.
You know that I love this guy. And people who probably...
But he's not going to start.
People, I bet you in a short amount of time, he'll be their starter.
So you're power ranking this. You're doing the power rankings in like week 6 when he takes over, and they're 1-5.
I guess so.
Or you're just saying they're Ross. You're just saying they're Ross.
Yeah. I'm saying like the New York Giants roster and who I think will be their quarterback by the end of the season, so to say.
Listen, we do the power rankings every single week in the NFL season. I guarantee you, in week 2, the Giants are out of the top 10.
We'll see.
They're the only team up here where I am certain that they're out of the top 10.
Do you know what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. Russell Wilson will be horrible week 1, horrible week 2. Jackson Dart comes in, they finish 12-5. So they're here at number.
Giants team is lucky to win 6 games.
They're here at number 9. They have the most ferocious front 7 in the league. Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. These dogs ready to come after you.
Brian Burns.
Who else? Brian Burns. Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, Thibodeau wouldn't be my guy. But
okay, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns. A ferocious front 7 ready to attack you. Jackson Dart, dude.
What do you mean Jackson Dart, dude?
Going to be the best NFL quarterback within the next 3 or 4 years, mark my words.
Here's what I'll tell you.
This guy can do it all. Malik Neighbors, one of the best weapons in football. Darius Slayton's a fight number 2. This team led by Jackson Dart will go up and down the field, no huddle, no punting. They'll score at will. Their defense will attack you. They'll meet at the quarterback. This is the New York Football Giants, number 9. Watch and learn.
Jackson Dart is a quarterback that needs time to develop.
Where are the people?
He's a guy who needs to learn how to play in an NFL offense. He's not a guy you should be expecting to play great next year.
Where are the people last year who said, I love Jaden Daniels, Commanders top 10? I'm doing the same thing. I love Jackson Dart, Giants top 10. You would have called me nuts last year putting Washington in the top 10.
Oh, I did look, Jack, at ESPN power rankings from last year. I think the Broncos were 31, the Commanders were 28, the Vikings were 23.
and they had good quarterbacks.
All playoff teams.
They had good quarterbacks, and they made it to.
Also, just saying, by the way, this is a joke on the Knicks game right now. If anyone, I know that this is already the game's over.
Running a segment that's going to be out.
Yeah, who cares?
No, I'm just saying to be able to go down, and this is what people. This is the sick thing about podcasts. People like this. No. But can you just not go down 9 or 10 in the first 2 minutes? 2 minutes of every single game.
We're talking about the real New York team and the New York Giants.
It's just ridiculous.
When you love a quarterback, like I love Jackson Dart, and you have one of the best receivers in all of football, and an underrated, ferocious defense, especially up front.
When did you become a Giants fan?
I'm just backing the Giants. I think they're good. I think they drafted the best quarterback in college football. Where were the haters last year when people picked Washington? Oh, I like Jaden Daniels. And look at them now.
I like Jackson Dart. I respect you for doing that, Jack. I think you're crazy, but I respect
the Giants will be a top 10 team in the NFL.
I mean, sure, we'll probably get
Should we make a bet on it?
A lot of hate comments. Oh,
I think they're going to go to playoffs.
Please, Zach. Zach, feel free to bet with that. I'd love to watch you two wager something.
They're a number 17.
Maybe a substantial wager between the two of you.
They're a 17 in the NFC. Dart to neighbors is like Brady to Moss.
Okay.
All right,
Ziggy, you're up.
He's just delusional.
I'm just saying, if you think they're going to make the playoffs, you can get that at plus 900 right now.
It'll be minus by week 6 when Dart's playing. So,
all right, number 8, we're slotting a team in. I'm putting in the Chargers. This is a team that I think is on a big upwards trajectory.
Dart's better than
I
Herbert.
think that Justin. What?
The highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
I mean, look, you've got Justin Herbert. He's an incredible player. There's no doubt about it. And the thing, I always like teams entering into year 2 with a new system, whether it's year 2 of a new defense, year 2 of a new offense, year 2 of a new head coach, especially if things went well in year 1. I felt like last year was a debugging year for the Chargers. They had to get used to winning games instead of losing in a horrific fashion. The offense started to look a lot better. Justin Herbert, he got injured, but when he wasn't injured, he played well. The defense improved substantially. You've added Trey Harris now, who I think will be a really impactful rookie. We talked about him last segment. This is a player who can definitely play football. He'll continue to get weapons around Herbert. This is the best Chargers team that they've had since they've gotten Herbert.
Yeah, this is the best opportunity that he'll have to go on an actual run. Now it's just going to come down to whether.
Prove it,
yeah, now it's just going to. It's going to be when they get to the playoffs, and I do expect them to, in all likelihood, be a wild card team. I don't think they'll beat the Chiefs, but they're going to be on the road, probably against a team like the Texans or perhaps could be the AFC North winner maybe. In the first round, and to win these games, Herbert's going to have to beat out Stroud. He'll have to outduel a Burrow or a Lamar at some point. And if you want to be in that top 5 quarterback conversation, which is what we talked about last week, you got to win these games eventually. So I like the pick there at 8. I mean, Jack's going to screw up the entire. The top 10 is destroyed right here. Someone's being left out.
Do you know why Ziggy? Do you know why the Chargers are high in your list? Because you're a big Trey Harris fan, right? That was a good draft pick for them.
Because I think Justin Herbert's proven he's an elite NFL quarterback.
But you like the Trey Harris draft pick.
So in our first 2...
You know who made Trey Harris relevant? It was Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. But in our first 2 of our first 3 teams have had a quarterback that has not thrown a pass in the regular season. In J.J. McCarthy and Jackson Dart here. All right, bring it over to me.
The Chargers got screwed by the schedule. I have to say that.
Bring it over to me here at 7. We've got the Washington Commanders as the number 17, as we have our friend Mike, former show guy. If you can hear him in the background at some point, he's losing his mind.
Mike was head of creativity.
Head of creativity, yeah. Mike was head of creativity, and he's very upset.
I actually think the episode Mike was on March Madness was the best in the show history.
The lowest viewed in the history of the show. The Washington Commanders here at 7. They have to be in the top 10 with Jaden Daniels after the rookie season he had, NFC Championship appearance. And big offseason, going and adding Laramie Tunsil, Deebo Samuel's there now. I think that the Commanders, by investing in Jaden, and he's, to me, proven that he can be potentially the best quarterback in the NFC this upcoming season. I'd slot him right behind Stafford.
Are you shitting me?
What?
The Mavericks won the lottery.
Oh, he said that off the top of the show.
I don't care.
30 minutes ago, Ziggy.
It just hit me what that means.
So I've got Jane Daniels and the Commanders at 7.
Who cares about the Commanders? They're going to win a bunch of games. They're going to be great at football. I'm mad that the Nico Harris is getting rewarded for like the worst trade in NBA history.
Yeah,
okay, sorry, I'm back.
Horrendous. The worst trade in the history of sports. Jack?
Yeah, I think that's a good fit for them there.
Take us over to 6.
6, I have Green Bay.
I think it's a little high for Green Bay, personally.
Our beloved. Well, I do agree, but I wanted to throw in the Giants there at 9, so I have to put the Packers here at 6. I love the Matthew Golden addition, as do most. I do believe that Jordan Love has it. He's capable. A guy like Matthew Golden helps a lot. And this team, yes, disappointing season last year, did win 11 games. They were in a very tough division, probably one of the best divisions ever for a single season.
Oh, what? Yeah. 29 wins between the Vikings and the Lions.
Maybe the best ever. And we've said this so many times, they only lost to the Vikings and the Lions and the Eagles. Now, Jordan Love gets that extra weapon we've been saying. Does he need one more? Does he need that X receiver?
Yep.
Now he's got it. He's got Reed. He's got Golden. This Packers team, would it shock me if they win the division? No. Do I think they will? No. Would it shock me? No. But I think they're a good 11-win team last year, only lost to the 3 best. I'd slot them in at 6.
What we've entered here now, and I think it started with the Commanders for me, is now we've entered the realm of teams that I could actually see making the Super Bowl. I don't really think the Vikings. I don't really think. Obviously, I don't think the Giants. I don't think the Chargers are going to go on a Super Bowl run. But from 7 up here, I think these teams. And I would probably put Green Bay a little lower. My personal top 10 looks different. But as far as what our rankings are going to be, I'm thinking from 7 up are the teams that I could see making an appearance.
I'm going to go on record and say that next year at this time in May, we'll be talking about Dar like we are about Jaden Daniels. And the Giants will be sitting here at 6.
What do we do? Should we do like they do in the fantasy thing? Put it on the board.
Yeah, well, we'll have to have a board or something like that.
We really should have like a Jax, whatever.
Well, Jack. Oh, yeah. Well, we have plenty. We'll need a bigger studio at some point. We'll get something for. I think we should start marking down everybody's opinions so we can be held responsible for what we say on this show. Because what's to stop Jack from coming on this show and putting the Giants at number 9 in the power rankings if no one holds him accountable?
I think I'd have a great record, honestly.
You actually have had I actually don't think you're crazy, Jack.
No.
I think Jack's record would not be great. I think his weighted record would be incredible.
Yes, his weighted record would be awesome. So far, Bryce Young seems to be working out in your favor. Caleb Williams is up in the air.
Only a year.
Last year, I think you were closer to right than wrong about Caleb. But this year's a big one for that. Generally speaking, your takes that most people find out of this world are not that crazy. However, then you come out and you say Dalton Kincaid's the next Rob Gronkowski, and that gets swept under the rug. So
he's still young. That wasn't crazy yet. He's still young.
He's still young. Ziggy, as the resident, I don't want to call it. You're not a resident Packers fan. The resident, I would say, alleged Packers
insider.
Fan. Yeah, Packers insider. What do you think of them at 6?
The thing about this Packers team, I agree they've got a lot of potential. They played good last year. I believe in Jordan Love. The wide receiver room needs to grow up and the defense needs to step up. This might be the most insecure wide receiver room in the entire NFL. Romeo Doubs isn't getting enough targets, so he quits the team for a week. Jaden Reed needs to have the GM come over and meet with his agent because he's worried he's not going to get enough targets. Dontavian Wick starts crying on Twitter after Josh Jacobs says we could use an upgrade in the wide receiver room. And these guys basically, they led the league in drops per pass by a good margin.
Yeah, Christian Watson's dad out here.
Yeah, Christian Watson, I'm not going to hold the knee injury against him, and I don't think he's happy about his dad's behavior. But the one receiver I trust in that room isn't there. They need a lot of players to step up. That's what's stopping me from putting them any higher. I think there's just so many things that need to go right for them. And I think of all those things, it's easy to talk yourself into being confident about it. And for good reason. I think this is why Packers fans are so high on their team. We put out that ridiculous poll of who's going to be the best team in the NFC next year, and 70% of our fans said it's going to be the Packers. One guy commented next year that the NFC is still going to run through Green Bay, as if it has since Aaron Rodgers left town.
Do you remember we lost some footage from the NFL draft, but we went around and we did. Ziggy, unfortunately, you filmed the videos of the selfie style videos of us talking to fans in slow motion. I don't know how you did that.
That's tough. I have no idea how that happened.
It starts off with me asking the question, and then the video goes into slow motion. So anyway, we did ask people at the draft.
We also have all exclusive hotel footage of Ziggy
in slow motion.
And so $100 Venmo will send him over.
Only Ziggs. But Ziggy, that footage that we had, do you remember we were asking Packers fans? We would say, who runs the North? And they were like, the obvious answer was the Lions, and all the Lions fans were like, why are you even asking this, bro? And the Packers fans would look at us and be like, oh yeah, it's still the Pack. It's the Pack. It was like, dude, you lost to every North team last year, 1-5 in the division. How can it possibly run through you? One question before we go on to the fifth team, Ziggy. Do you think that the Packers, when it comes to Super Bowl ability to get to the Super Bowl, would you say the Packers are closer to the Lions as a top tier contender, or the Vikings as a team where if it goes right, they have a shot?
We said this a few weeks ago.
As the Knicks take the lead.
The problem of the Packers for years has been that they don't have everything going right at about the same time. Obviously, the Lions had a terrible playoff collapse last year, but that's because everything went wrong. I have not seen enough consistency from the Packers to believe that they can make a run.
Okay, so you think they're close to the Vikings as a team that needs to go right?
They can absolutely prove me wrong next year. They have the pieces, but I need to see every single team above them, I think, has shown that they can play consistently well long enough to make the playoffs.
I'm with you. I think they're very good, but I think at this moment in time, I would put them closer to the Vikings tier of contenders. Right. Again, the Vikings unproven with McCarthy. I get that. The Packers are a higher team than me in the rankings, but I'd say they're closer to that level than that surefire.
Both those are teams where we need to see something we haven't seen before.
Yes, as opposed to the Lions and the Eagles, who are surefire. They should be competing again. All right, take us to number 5 here as we enter the top half.
At number 5, I'm putting the best team in the AFC North.
This feels easy, right? These top 5 teams.
Oh, it's very easy.
Pittsburgh.
I'm putting a team. They're tied for the highest win total in the NFL. They've got the best quarterback in the AFC North. They've got the best offense in the AFC North. They've got a guy who's absolutely going to be in the MVP conversation next year. We're slotting in the Cincinnati Bengals at number 5. I mean, this is a no-brainer. This Bengals team, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the division. Got the best receivers in the division. He finally drafted a guard. This will be the best offense in the division. And defense just needs to be passable.
But it wasn't passable.
You brought in Al Golden from Notre Dame. You drafted Shamar Stewart, who has all the potential in the world.
The project. You drafted the project.
Look, the Bengals just need basic competency. And I'd much rather trust them to go from bad to basic competency than from good to elite. Going from good to elite is a much harder jump than terrible to okay. The Ravens need things to be elite consistently. The Bengals already have, I'm willing to say, this will be the best offense in the entire NFL next year. So you just need an okay defense.
It's hard. I have a hard time agreeing with your selection of Cincy here when that means we now have to leave off one of the Ravens, Bills,
there's
Chiefs,
only one reason we
Eagles,
have to leave off one of those teams.
Yes, you taking the
Just
Bengals.
Look at number 9.
The Giants are better than the Bengals.
This is a two of you problem here. I think I've been very consistent.
Jackson Dart is an MVP level quarterback next year. The Bengals will still probably have the better offense.
No, Zach, are you going to say something? Or are you just going to let
the Giants
happen?
have a defense.
The
producer. I don't know what they're. This is. First of all,
the Giants have a ferocious front seven.
Defensive performance is not consistent year over year. You saw it when they went from elite to terrible. They're going to go from terrible to okay.
Did you put the team at number 5 who allowed 30 points a game?
Who can't play defense?
Yeah, last year it went bad. I get it.
Here's the thing.
So the Giants just got an elite quarterback in the draft, first round, and they play good defense.
No, this is what you guys did. Jack screwed up the list. Ziggy failed to adjust to Jack screwing up. And now I'm going to somehow wind up being blamed for this.
I'm not putting the second best team in the AFC North above the best team in the AFC North. It sounds like
every list we've ever made.
Fair the Ravens are also overrated.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem.
I don't fault you for putting a team that you think is better than the Ravens here and making the call. If you like the Bengals there's a great chance. What they end the season 5-0, right? They would have if they gotten in the playoffs. No one would have wanted to play them. I don't think it's as crazy as Jack playing the Giants at 9. But again, this is May power rankings.
This team barely beat the Giants, and Giants didn't have Dart. Giants didn't have Dart then.
Well, wasn't that the game when Ziggy said I'm off the Bengals?
Yeah,
they beat the Giants in
MetLife. That was before Dart and Carter.
Yeah, Ziggy came on the show and said I'm done. I've seen enough.
Yeah,
but here we are in May. This is it. So.
Also,
you're unhappy with this, deal with it.
If Russ and Winston and Dart all suck, the Giants are the worst team in the NFL. But I think Dart's going to be amazing.
See, this is Jack trying to reassure himself. Later down this line in this year, he's going to be like, "All right, see, I told you. This is what I told you."
This is me being a huge Jackson Dart believer.
Well, the schedule release is going to come out. The Giants need a week 1 win. Oh wait, no, you want
No, I
what
want
do
a
you
week.
want? You
I
want
want
a
a week
loss?
1 blowout, and then Dart comes in.
Okay, so you want them. All right, I'll go to 4 here. So this has now screwed up my top 5. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to make a call here. I'm going to leave Baltimore out. I'm gonna put the Bills at 4. I can't put them above either of the NFC teams. I think that they're both juggernauts, and I can't put them above the Chiefs until they beat them when it matters. And they just can't do that right now. They should be unbelievable again. Josh Allen's a one-man wrecking ball. But until they get that big win in the playoffs, to me, they're going to be stuck here. And I might not put them above the Chiefs the entire season.
I mean, that's a great pick, only because they're the only. Yeah, it's you can. That's the team you got to put there.
It's the only one. It's them or the Ravens here for.
Because the last 3 that we're going to put are better. Yeah,
I like them on defense going in and adding. They add Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky. They go and they add a couple guys on the defensive line in the draft as well. This is a team that the defense needs to get better. The offense should be fine for when it matters. Again, you have Josh Allen, you have Mahomes. These guys can get it done by themselves. Lamar Jackson, get a monster defense, and they took some steps forward. They need a number 2 cornerback. They got it.
They're the AFC ship again, weren't they? Chiefs beat them.
They were. Yeah, they lost in the. Remember the tush push?
Yeah,
failed for them. Not the tush. I call it the tush push.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they couldn't get the QB sneak.
Yes,
and was that the divisional round? I think that was divisional.
No, because they beat Baltimore. They lost. To Kansas
you're right.
City.
You're right. It was the AFC Championship. Jeez, man.
I will say this much: you always be careful of picking teams to be great when they're in the middle of building a new stadium.
Like the Bears.
That's always dangerous.
yeah.
But think about the Rams, right? They were in the middle of building a new stadium. Nothing worked. They built SoFi, immediate Super Bowl.
So you're saying that the Bills, maybe in a couple of years, are going to be Super Bowl champions.
But not quite yet.
That'd be my prediction.
The Vikings just built the stadium 10 years ago, and we lost in heartbreaking fashion.
Well, that's the Vikings. There's nothing you do.
So the Bills are going to be different?
Let's get these last 3.
Let's get these last 3 here. Go over to 3, Jack.
I put the Chiefs at 3.
I think that's right.
I do believe that the 2 teams I have ahead of them on my personal power rankings, who I think is our joint as well.
You never know.
We'll see. But you never know. Are just right now slightly better. But the Chiefs deserve a top 3 spot because of
what
Mahomes.
They've accomplished.
Yeah, and having Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
Ziggy, too?
Yeah, we're slotting in the NFC teams here. It's funny, I went back to our power rankings from the beginning of last year, and all people could say was the AFC is so stacked. Which NFC teams are going to step up? Is the NFC way easier? Now it feels like it's the opposite. The NFC has 2 juggernauts at the top, but the Lions had more turnover than the Eagles. So for that reason, I love the Lions. Putting them at number 2 is not an insult. I'm interested to see how Isaac Tesla is going to be able to do. Clearly, they love him. They gave 3 first-round picks for him. But
second, right? Second-round picks.
Yeah, 3 third-round picks.
Third round. Sorry. Jeez. I thought you said first.
Ultimately, yeah, it's with the amount of turnover they had and the fact the Eagles were better last year. I feel like it's easy to put them at number 2 here.
I think that's the right call as well. And I'm going to put the Eagles at number 1 on this list.
Not the Ravens.
Not the Ravens. Not the Ravens. I'm going to go with the Eagles here.
So Baltimore's off.
The Ravens are so overrated. We go through this every year. They're so
I agree.
overrated.
Mark Andrews dropped pass away from going to overtime in the divisional round and going to the AFC.
Losing in overtime.
They're not very good.
But they would have been in the AFC Championship game for the second straight year. They're not overrated.
You know what they didn't do, Paul?
They are.
They didn't make it.
What are we talking about overrated? We're saying they're a top 5 team in the league. They are.
Pittsburgh
They've been a top 5. Okay,
but let's
put it out there. They've been a top 5 team in the league.
They're overrated
every single year. And what haven't they done?
But look at this.
They haven't won a Super Bowl.
The Bengals haven't
won an AFC Championship. What have they done?
The Bengals have made a Super Bowl.
And we had the Lions here at 2. They've done
the
jack shit. The
championship
Bills
again.
have been here. They've done nothing. Like, it's hard to win. It's hard to win.
Have
when
they
you're
even
playing.
made the AFC Championship?
The Ravens
when
were
was the last time
overrated.
they made the? Was that
Last year, they were the 1 seed.
They got killed at
They were
home.
the 1 seed.
They got killed. They're overrated. I agree.
Well, you agree because you're a Steelers
they're not
fan.
very good.
That's like me sitting here saying the Packers are overrated.
No, the Ravens are not very good.
I can't say they're not.
I think the Bengals stink too.
You're right. I can't say they're not good, but they're hot trash.
What would you? Where?
I'm
so
with him.
you're happy with this list? Zach?
I'm with him.
You're happy with this list?
Mike, are you upset with me or Zach on this? No, he's watching the game.
Besides the Giants and Yeah,
So-
really. Besides the Giants,
It's okay.
It's okay.
The Ravens need to be in there,
Yeah,
but
I would put the Ravens here, but I'm sticking with the Bengals ahead of them. I think the Bengals are the best AFC North.
The Ravens are my 11.
and I like doing this as well with the Eagles at 1. Like you have to put the Super Bowl champion to me should be 1 in the May power rankings
Yeah.
until the season starts in all of our power rankings, unless there's an injury.
If they lost people, you could start arguing, but they didn't lose them.
Unless there's a major injury to Saquon or Jalen Hurts or something like that, then to me they got to be number 1 here.
You can cut off one of Saquon's legs, and I probably still have number 1.
Yeah, but I mean, this goes to show
His running backs don't matter.
the hopefully. Oh my gosh, sorry, Jason Tatum just hit a ridiculous shot.
Just hit a 30-footer.
Anyway, we'll wrap up the show here before it gets too out of hand.
We're gonna wrap up the show.
Well, we got Mike losing his mind over here. All right, we'll finish off very briefly with the.
We're not doing the Mount Rushmore.
Well, we'll do it real quick.
Oh, let's say what is that? Let's save that.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun for a second.
How long is that going to be?
2 minutes here.
Oh, all right. I thought it was like half an hour.
It's 5-minute segment. Okay, back up to the regular screen here.
Because we need to know what people think about this new segment idea Paul came up with.
Well, it's just
The next
talking
game's
like
also
Mount Rushmore,
over. So you don't have to. This game's over.
basically. So this game that we decided to come up with here, the Mount Rushmore game, it's another one of these draft variations where we kind of get to list our favorite, or we rank our favorite of a specific topic. What I want to do is, from Jack, Zach, Ziggy, and me, we will each think, this is honor system here, okay, guys? We each have to think, we're going to do stadiums, the best stadiums of all time, all right? Active stadiums. So Coliseum in Rome doesn't count. Active stadiums for sporting events. And like the Masters doesn't count. It's a stadium. So we're each going to come up with one, and then we'll go one by one saying them. If we have any overlap between us. So Jack, if you pick like Heinz Field, for instance.
It has to be football. Going to be on
No, any stadium in the world. If you and Zach both pick Acrisure, okay, here's the punishment for the show. Zach then gets, so Acrisure goes on the list, but Zach then gets a second go.
You don't want Zach to get any more.
So same thing. If me and Ziggy had the same one, our vote gets on the list, but then Zach gets to pick the second one, which will destroy the list because Zach has
he has no idea
absurd takes.
Yeah.
I also don't know any.
He doesn't know any stadiums.
Yeah.
Like,
So, but the thing is, we could do this for any topic because Zach will just have a ridiculous answer for any of these. No shade on Zach. No shade on Zach. Okay, you got your stadium in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, Zaggy, you good?
Oh yeah.
All right, the Mount Rushmore stadium. Zach, you got yours?
Yeah.
Let's start with Jack.
TNC Park.
There it is. Okay, so PNC Park in Pittsburgh is on the Mount Rushmore.
That's the
Park.
nicest stadium in the world. It's right number 1 every year. Look it up on Google. Look at the freaking scenery.
Is there anything iconic about PNC?
It's a nice stadium, but it's not a Mount Rushmore stadium.
100%.
20 years.
It's the most beautiful stadium in America. Look up on Google Images. Look at PNC Park.
No, I know it's nice,
It's
but when I
right
say
number
like,
1 every single year. It is iconic. That is the nicest stadium in America.
I think most people in this country, if you say what's PNC Park, they say, "What the hell is that?"
Then I'll show them and be like, oh yeah, that's elite.
I'm just saying that's what I think. That's what.
Then
I think
I'll show them and be like, oh yeah, that deserves it. Just like the Four Corners. That shout out to our guy from Canada. Well, I forget his name. Daniel. He's like, dude, Jack, we met him in Green Bay. He's like, I didn't know what the Four Corners were. I looked them up, and yeah, dude, like you're right.
Well, Daniel might be out of his mind because we're talking about someone.
He doesn't realize how
Someone took a
disciplined
Sharpie and drew a little cross and put Arizona state abbreviations. And how is that a land?
It's also
I don't know.
It's also top 4. It has to make the top 4. I'm not saying it's number 1.
Look, Park's in. It's in.
We all get a vote. All right, Zach.
Hard Rock Stadium, baby.
All right, so this is just
like PNC destroys that.
So this is not even.
What do you mean? The sun is always out.
I think it's just a bad segment.
Well, it's not a bad segment, Ziggy. It's incompetency
Ziggy,
from the hosts. Go ahead.
You guys just don't like baseball.
PNC
that's
Park.
the problem.
PNC Park.
You guys also just don't like the sun.
That's like Ziggy, like you talking about like your cyclist dude is like me talking about PNC Park. Like you don't care.
But Ziggy's not throwing them on the Mount Rushmore of greatest athletes.
He's saying last show he's like this is the most upset he's been in his life over a sport.
But that's his life. I mean, we're talking like
this is my Mount Rushmore.
We're trying to build the best Mount Rushmore possible here.
So I'm taking the best.
Hard Rock Stadium should not be.
Yes, that's horrible.
What do you mean? You guys don't like the
Can
sun?
we just get a justification? Why is it there?
What?
Because he's a Dolphins fan.
That's it. That is.
It's also sun. It's nice out there. Like, why wouldn't you want to be in that stadium?
All right.
Because you burn. It's
All
like
right.
200 degrees.
Well,
Well, that sounds like you should put some sunscreen on, Ziggy, and call it a day.
It's a nice stadium. Like Paul and I were there
I like
recently.
it. It's very nice.
Yeah.
You
It's
guys
not-
have
it
been
doesn't-
to the stadium.
Oh yes, no, it's a nice
It
stadium, but
doesn't
it's
sniff the Mount Rushmore of stadiums.
How does it not sniff the Mount Rushmore stadiums? It's so nice.
This can't be
because
This
that's
can't be real. This is what I mean. With
Have you
fun.
been to the game at night?
Ziggy,
It
go
lights
ahead.
up at night.
I haven't.
Like,
I've been at night. I've been at day. It's a fine stadium.
Ziggy, go ahead.
I mean, there's an easy answer here. It's La Bombonera.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what we're talking about. I say Hard Rock. He comes up with
La
Lambo
Bombonera doesn't
Bonera.
tremble, it beats.
Lambo Bonera. You ever heard of that before?
Is that another word for Lambeau
It's
Field?
because you guys only know American teams. La Bombonera is the single most iconic football field in the entire
Okay.
world.
Yeah. This is
PNC
insane.
Park is a legitimate answer. It's the nicest stadium in baseball.
We have to
But
end this
I get
segment.
that you
No,
guys
no,
only
we just
want
got to end
American
this segment.
stadiums because that's all you know about. If you ever get a chance to go to La Bombonera, you can go up like the
See,
incredible
have you been to
sloped
Lambo
stairs.
Bonera?
How is this like?
This is your stupid segment.
I come up.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
guys
come
have
up with a
never heard
fun
of this.
game for the show. I come up with a fun game where we can
And
talk
hold on.
about iconic stadiums, and we have La
This is- this is-
Bombonera.
and
La
I come-
Bamba.
and I come-
For the
I come
most
up with a-
iconic sport in the world.
I come up with a fantastic stadium.
I come up
First of
with
all-
the most interesting stadium for the most popular sport in the world, and you're mad at me.
All right, what are you throwing?
And I come up with the nicest stadium with the nicest weather,
Okay,
and
no,
this is what I
Paul,
get.
would you be upset with any pick I made outside of the United States?
I love. I don't even know
People-
La Bamba. La Bamba.
Yeah, I get that you guys don't watch any football at all. I get it.
La Bamba.
It's, you don't know
Lemon.
anything about Argentinian football culture. I
People
get it.
will
Even though why
flood.
it's called La Bombonera because it looks like a box of chocolates.
All right, I'm gonna
People
put.
will flood to the comments backing PNC Park.
I'm gonna put Fenway Park. We'll go on the list.
PNC
for me.
is better than Fenway.
For me, it would have been Fenway, Wrigley, MSG, and Lambeau Field. That would have been on my Mount Rushmore.
PNC's better
But
than both Wrigley and
unfortunately for this show, we're rolling with PNC Park, Hard Rock Stadium, La Bombonera, and Fenway.
Why are you so upset?
People
about
will
me
back
mentioning things from
PNC
outside
Park.
the United
People will
States?
back PNC Park.
I can't wait to put out this graphic.
People will back PNC Park.
People aren't even gonna know the names I have these stadiums.
I have the best one on this list.
I just want to see before.
You know what's sad is I think he does have
Yeah,
the best one
like
on this
by
list,
far.
which
I have the
is
best-
terrible.
Fenway
Yes,
Park
like by
is
far.
the best one.
Oh please, Fenway sucks. It's old and disgusting. PNC's much
Have
better
you been
than
to Fenway Park?
Yes, I have.
You need to go back then because you clearly didn't get it.
You been to PNC?
No, I haven't. I need to go. All right, La
PNC
Bombonera.
will comments will flock to back me.
La Bombonera. This looks pretty cool, but
Look at
But
PNC Park
this
on
is the
Google.
most
I
iconic
haven't.
football stadium in the entire world.
isn't this like it looks like Ted Lasso-y? Is that what Ted Lasso is based on? Who plays him?
Your
Who
only
plays?
engagement, the most popular sport in the world is Ted Lasso.
Fenway's overrated. That's the worst pick. is
Who
Fenway.
plays in La Bombonera?
It's a lot of
Oh, here we
Argentinian
go.
teams play there, but I'm pretty sure it's Boca.
That's actually the worst pick.
All right, this is yeah. All right. We don't.
Look, you
I'm
don't
pretty
understand
sure.
how many iconic Argentinian moments have happened at La Bombonera.
You want to know mine?
Mine
Mine
the
was-
best game his entire career there.
I don't care about iconic Argentinian moments.
It's the most important sport in the world.
We gotta
And
end
it's
this.
the
We
most
have
iconic,
to end
most
this.
famous
We have to end this.
stadium.
Mine was PNC, Lambeau, MSG, and Acrisure.
Okay, can we end this segment before we go way off the deep end like we've already had?
You know, I have to say that I would run it back again, but I don't think it was obviously a
I don't think we should
I'm
do
not
disaster.
changing my
stadium.
pick.
I don't think we
picked
should
the
do
most
stadium.
iconic stadium of the biggest sport in the world.
All right.
Let's do like animals next time.
All right, let's end the show.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll do animals on the next one. The Mount Rushmore of animals. Ziggy's gonna come out with like a prancing Libra. It's gonna,
A unicorn.
and Jack will be like a squirrel. A squirrel.
That was my first
I'm
word. So I
sorry you guys only care about American stadiums. That's my bad.
Well, that's why the show works. We get a little bit of everything. So there you
you
go.
guys just don't like baseball.
The Mount Rushmore stadiums. You have it right there. The PNC Park, Hard Rock Stadium, La Bombonera, and Fenway Park. All right. Thanks everyone for listening to today's episode.
You know, there's
please-
going to be some Ziggy defenders in the comments.
Oh,
There always,
oh, there
people
always
who
are.
actually know things about.
There
stuff.
always are. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow night. Schedule release reaction. We doing Mount Rushmores on animals, on doctors, on everything. Well, we'll see you then.